Alright guys, so let's carry on with what we were doing. So if we go back, set part of the slides on Blackboard. Okay, so the slide, normally I make till last second I make changes to the slide, so I can just upload it now on the backboard. So you can also follow some of the steps there. Okay. So also hopefully we're logged into Azure while I just put that slide up there. So it's week 3 and let me just refresh quickly and upload it. So week 3 has 2 download links as well, and that is SQL Server 2016 SP2, and the other one is SSMS, which is SQL Server Management Studio. So we're going to try to get those as well. Let me just quickly upload that here. So hopefully everyone's logged in to the Azure, and let's try to connect to our Azure SQL machine. I'll quickly upload that. That's 544. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and slide is there, refresh your page, and let's try to go with the Azure. So what we have already done in last class was, let me just, yeah, I think I closed that slide, and I'll just make a diagram as well for that. Okay, so what we have done, we have created a resource group there by this name, well, and then created a VNet and subnet by this name, created a virtual machine, your first name VM1 SQL, created a domain, your first name SQL.local, and then we also created the 390 users with PowerShell inside our first machine, which is domain controller. And if I just go for portal.office.com, so it would just show the diagram as well. Okay, that's our. Yeah, so we've talked about or discussed how SQL will be installed and in an organization, how does it fit in, and other than that, so I've created that diagram here. I'll just try to get it here on this. Okay, and from here. So let's try to then understand, and I'll just make this a bit smaller. Okay, so we have we need to go for the second machine as well. There are a lot of limitations in Azure, and it's not something that I've been doing for George Brown College or any other college. So a lot of hard work and a lot of troubleshooting and a lot of errors had to be removed and tested still. So we're gonna try to go ahead and install SQL Server now. Create RG VNet VM01, but we haven't done the VM02, so that's remaining here. We already have that covered here. Now, if we go to our slide here, so that's what we already did, and what we need to do today to continue to deploy the second machine, and then install SQL Server inside. Some more steps that need to be followed. So first of all, everyone connected to the SQL, your first name VM1 SQL. Anyone having issues connecting to that, or so the main thing, guys, is that you might see there might be coming a lot of problems. So you can, those who are unable to, just like last lab, and you have some genuine issue there, so you can just email me and then you can follow the video. Just let me know that hey, prof, I was just stuck with this and that. So at least I would be able to show the whole demo here, and you can, those who are falling behind can even follow with the video, and I'll give you enough time for that without cutting any marks, right? So now the next step would be, first of all, obviously we need to confirm that are we logged in from our domain controller. So if I go ahead here, hopefully everyone is, and I'm in the Azure now, and I'll go to this portal menu, and in this portal menu I'll just go down to the virtual machines. So while I'm going down to virtual machines, you can also see that I passed by this SQL databases here. So that's the other way to deploy. There is another way to deploy SQL Server, but it requires that your Azure Active Directory is intact and it's really accessible. But in George Brown, that's where huge limitation is there, that we don't have an Azure Active Directory access there. And I could even show you in my paid account just a demo, or those who want to go for free 30-day trial to check it out as well later. You can let me know as well. Okay, so we had to go to virtual machines for the very reason that we didn't have an Azure Active Directory in the George Brown provided Azure free service. Maybe Microsoft provides that to all colleges, and I think they don't provide Azure Active Directory as a testing ground. So once we go to the virtual machine, so there's our virtual machine, your first name VM1 SQL, and ignore the other machines that I have. I will have to actually delete them if I had to. So we have a big limit here, and that is we cannot have more than 10 vCPUs in our whole subscription. We cannot have more than 10 vCPUs. So it's 2 vCPUs here, 2 vCPUs here. So you have just 2 machines, obviously. We're gonna create the third machine now, so we cannot have more than total of 10 vCPUs. Now your first name VM1 SQL here, and there's an overview showing here. So normally how we connect, we can just do that connect. I see that the start button is clickable, so this means that I need to start that machine. And let me check with this and ignore my configurations right now. For some reason it did not give me public IP here, and there is another configuration that I'm going to show, and that you can connect from a browser with just a private IP. You don't need to have an RDP downloaded as well. So I'm going to show you that as well. Right now I'll connect to this, and ignore the way I'm connecting right now, because I'm going to be telling you now how to do this, how to configure this as well. And it's just called Bastion. And the good thing about this is that you don't need to have a RDP downloaded, the file downloaded. So I'm going to show you how to configure that after I'm just, so Amir admin SQL, I'll just quickly go with that and username password. So you must have already logged in from RDP, which is okay. I'm trying to connect through the browser, and my machine actually has just a private IP. It does not have a public IP at all. And while it is trying to log in, and I'll just try to reconnect, because it's, oh sorry, I didn't start it, sorry. I'll just start it now. So it says deallocated here. I'll just start it. and then I'll connect. Okay. So the plan here is, let me just explain with some diagrams that how will we go ahead. It seemed like very simple. Okay, we're going to create two machines here, and then we're going to connect each other. So in Azure, in public cloud, it doesn't work just straightforward like this. If you have done it on laptops, or some of you have, I think, powerful laptops, maybe 32 GB RAM, i7 quad core. So it's pretty straightforward there with the private network. Here in Azure, it's I wish everyone had that kind of powerful machine. So it would have been very easy for me to then go ahead, even with 16 GB if we all have i5 processor and 16 GB, we could have just gone for the machines. But since we don't have that, so I have to go for Azure. Now, in this diagram, I'm just showing that there are two machines there. But first of all, there are some few steps that we need to implement. First is what we will do next. So our virtual machine, domain controller is there, we are connected. Let's configure our VNet DNS to get DNS services from our first VM, domain controller with DNS, and instead of from VNet DNS. So now what is it saying? So let me just let's talk in English now, what it just said. So see this, your VNet has its own DNS that it is providing, right? So DNS services are provided by the VNet. Services provided. So what happens is that by VNet. So I want, or we want our machine, our member server that will have a SQL server later installed as an application. We need this machine to talk to the DNS of our domain controller and not to talk to the DNS of the VNet. So this is what we don't need. So this means that we have to simply tell this VNet, hey VNet, instead of providing my other machine that is about to be deployed, instead of providing it the DNS services, can you just let this guy, the domain controller, provide the DNS service to this member server? And let this member server resolve all the DNS queries from our already provided or installed DNS server. So this is what we're about to do. That we're gonna we're gonna tell the VNet, your DNS services we don't need. We have our own DNS server. Thank you very much. So we're gonna be using our DNS server from now on. So that's the first thing we need to configure. And where do we configure? We're gonna tell it to our virtual network in our public cloud. So let's do that because these two machines, this second machine needs to be talking to our domain controller through DNS, right? So that's the first step. Hopefully you've understood what I've just said now. And if you're inside your Azure with a single tab here, now my machine would have been logged in as well. So what I can do is I can just click the connect button, and let me just check if I was provided a public IP here, even with second NIC. Nope, it's not. Okay, so I'm gonna connect quickly the new way that I'm gonna show you as well. Let me just SQL. Okay, while this is connecting, I'll try to let's change that. Let's tell our VNet to redirect all the DNS services to our first domain controller. So that's the first thing. How do we go to the VNet? On the same page where we are, I'm just going to go to the portal menu here, and in the portal menu we can go to this virtual networks. So let's click the virtual networks here, and our VNet, which one was our VNet? So I think it was this one, which is 17 September, and that was, yeah, the last Thursday. So your first name VNet SQL, let's go there. And if you're on the VNet, so there's an overview, and it just tells you that that's your VNet and you're using the resource group 17 September. This resource group will be important when we are about to delete, whenever we are deleting the whole resource here. We're just going to delete the resource group. Whatever is attached to that will be deleted as well. But we're going to do it together. And yeah. So I'm going to go down to this DNS server. So I'm in the your first name VNet SQL, and if I go down, hopefully you're able to find the DNS servers written there under security. Once you click that under security DNS servers, this is something that I already have here, but yours will be showing like this, right? So default Azure provided. So this is what we're not going to follow. We're just going to go for custom. But in order to go for custom, what is this saying? That this is the IP of my first virtual machine. This is the private IP of my domain controller. So it also has my DNS server here as well. So if you click custom, and then it will just show you this area. Now, obviously, you need to check if your private IP is exactly this. Do not copy my private IP. So how would you know that what is the IP of the machine? What is the private IP of your machine? That's what you need to know. I guess it would be the same for everyone, but it may not be. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go away from this, but I need to find out. Suppose you need to find out what is the private IP of my machine. So we don't have to go from here. We can just right click on top of that. Okay. So Jacob says, if we can connect through Bastion, is it okay if we connect via remote connection as well? Yeah, it's okay. It's some students were actually seeing issues there with the remote desktops, right? Remote desktop is opening, everything is perfect, and RDP is just not connecting. So in that case, so you don't have to follow Bastion, but in case you got disconnected continuously from RDP, then it's a good configuration. Now, suppose we configure Bastion host here. Bastion, I still have to explain what is that. Still, you can keep on connecting from RDP. Whenever it gives you a problem, then you switch to Bastion, right? So I still have to explain what is Bastion to others, but there was a question there, so I'm answering that. So yeah, you can keep on going for RDP as well. So guys, what I was saying was, how do we know the IP of our machine there? So I'm just going to right click on the tab here. See this? Right click on the tab, and I'm going to duplicate this because I don't want to go away from this page, and I want to duplicate and go to my domain controller and just find out my IP or confirm or double check my IP, right? So I'm going to click that duplicate here, and it's going to open the tab on the same page. I just need to go away from this page to just simply check the private IP of my domain controller for SQL. So I'm just going to go for the portal menu here and go down to virtual machines again. Go down to virtual machines again. And there's my SQL server. Oh, well, actually the domain controller, it doesn't, it's just for SQL Lab, so your first name VM1. And how would I know my private IP? Well, as soon as you click that machine, so you would see the private IP here. Hopefully everyone's private IP would be 10.4.4, or if it is 10.4.05, or whatever your IP range was. Suppose you selected 10.100 or 10.00, so is it .4 at the end or .5? It's up to you. So you can just check it out. Whatever your private IP of your domain controller is, just copy it or just remember it. Go back here to your VNet tab and simply put that IP here. So now we're telling the VNet, please let us use the DNS of our domain controller, right? Obviously, well, it's just done by, I've already done it. Suppose I had two domain controllers and both had DNS servers, so I would have put the IP of the second machine as well if it had the DNS server installed, but we just all have one. So once you've put that, go ahead and click save. So I already have that, so that's why I cannot click save, but go ahead and once you've put the 10 dot whatever your range dot 0 dot and whatever the IP. So once you put that, click anywhere else and go ahead and save. So if you have saved that, so that would be, if it is saved successfully, then that would be our first screenshot here. because without this critical configuration, the two machines by name cannot resolve each other's. They cannot connect by name to each other, right? So, so that's the first screenshot here. That you've changed the DNS of the VNet. So I'm gonna take a sample screenshot here, and I'll put it on WhatsApp so you could see that sample screenshot. Oh, there's actually a screenshot there, and Amir is saying internet. Hopefully, Amir, that was resolved, or do you still have that? So screenshot 1, I'm just typing there in WhatsApp first of all, and that is changing. The title is changing DNS of our SQL VNet. Changing DNS of our. I use VMware. How can I take a screenshot? Then you don't have to. Well, obviously this configuration is not there. If you're inside your virtual machine DNS, you can just open your DNS and take that screenshot. So we will have some kind of screenshot there. Oh, like, okay, cool. No, he's asking how, like, which area screenshot. He's using VMware in his laptop. Okay, Cameron is saying I'm also using VMware. So guys, yeah, those who are using VMware, you can just open the DNS in your machine and simply take a screenshot of the DNS, opened DNS, right? Okay, so screenshot 1, changing DNS of our SQL VNet, and I'll just put that screenshot there. Anyone else who's also going for VMware based machines, that's good because you guys have good virtual machines there, like you have a lot of RAM. I'm just where the rest of us are forced to go for Azure, so there are Azure related configurations before we could do anything, go down to our actual labs. So I would definitely go for virtual machine based or VMware based. I also have that RAM. But okay, so once this is done and you got the IP for, so I've just put that screenshot there, and I'll just copy image and put it on. I think it's here as well. Let me just quickly go to. Okay, those who have access to the that Office 65, so you would also see this screenshot, and the title is already there in. Okay, I'll put the title here. Okay, let's go ahead and yep, there's the title. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is that we will have to, if this is done and you have saved it already, so let me just, yeah. Okay, so it's saved and you're good. So we don't need this VNet to be there, or actually still keep that VNet open, but we'll go back to our SQL side. And on the SQL side, my machine is started here, and in fact from within the browser I'm logged in as well, and you guys are also logged in there. Now this Bastion VM, if you're able to connect, then I don't have to tell anyone. If anyone is having issues, then only I can let you know about how to configure Bastion, which is that you can connect from within the browser to your machine, right? If anyone has RDP issues continuously, then let me know. Otherwise, so okay guys, this is one thing that we need to do. I'm just gonna go ahead now. Let's create a Bastion subnet so we could connect from within our browser. But this is not compulsory. If you're connecting from RDP, you're good. So we don't have to do that. I chose to go that way. So when I'm connecting through Bastion, Bastion just means connecting from the browser with private IPs, right? So you don't have to really do that. Now make sure to make the IP of your DC static. This is in for the VMware guys. Yep. Yes, Tuvaldi. Oh, there's a actually there I program trouble to sign in WebEx. Do I need to code from you? Oh, Tuvaldi, I sent that code. I'll just send that again. So, the thing is that we can still configure it, and if you want to still connect from RDP, you can do that. But let's just configure it in case your RDP has an issue, then you can do that. So yes, well, let me show you how to configure Bastion as well quickly. So we can go ahead now. We can connect through RDP as well, right? Yes, even if you configure Bastion, which means connecting from within your browser to your virtual machines, still you can connect from RDP. Tuvalde says I'm encountering problems signing in. Tuvalde, which signing into WebEx or signing into Azure? Because it's just click, 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 and you should be connecting through WebEx. It is. So Tuvalde is there. Nope. Tuvalde, you can restart your computer. Oh, he's not listing objects. So let me just quickly tell him so we can go ahead. Please restart your computer and then try again. Okay, so Brady says in WhatsApp, to associate a virtual network with a Bastion, it must contain a subnet with name Azure Bastion subnet with prefix of at least 20/27. What subnet am I using? I missed it. So no, we will be creating a Bastion now. So let me just show you quickly and then go ahead. So guys, let me just quickly explain as well that Bastion is that you don't need the RDP. You can connect from within your browsers. That's the first thing about Bastion. Second thing is that you don't even need public IP if and you can just have both machines as private IP, and from within browser just connect to them. So the benefit of that is, suppose you're on the move and you need to connect to your network from some machine that is given to you, but it's not your network machine, and you're outside somewhere, so you can securely connect to your virtual machines from anywhere where there's internet and browser. Okay, so Jericho says to associate a virtual network with. So guys, let me just show you. Let's go with that, and let's create a Bastion subnet so we could connect from within our browser, even with private IP only given to our second VM. So let me just show you how to do that, and then we go ahead. Right? Because some of the students last time were asking me that, hey, RDP is giving me issues. So let's go to our environment here, and in this environment, I'm just connected to my SQL server. But since I have, what I can say is that if your VNet is already configured here, if your VNet is there, so let's go to the VNet, right? You're already in the VNet, right? We were in the VNet in the DNS servers. What we can do is we can go to this above the DNS server. So security, firewall, DDoS, there's a subnets here. So if you see that, click that, subnets there, right? What we need to do is, well, you can see that there is already a Bastion subnet you can see here for myself. What I can do is I can show you on the other machine, so it would look just more lively. Oh, that's VNet. Let me just quickly go to another machine to show you, because if it's connected already here, you will be confused. I'll just portal menu, go to virtual machines here, and there is another machine here. So okay, so I'm just gonna go to the connect button here, and then I'll click Bastion now. So everyone, just go to your dashboard of virtual machine, your domain. My machine is different right now, so but you can go to your virtual machine there and try to click the connect button. Once you click the connect button, you go ahead and click the Bastion. Once I click the Bastion here, now you can see it shows me use Bastion. So let's click that button as well, and you should be seeing that error, right? Okay, so let me just show you which error I'm talking about. This one, right? So if you see this, it just says that, hey, why don't you create a new subnet, and you must name it exactly this, Azure Bastion Subnet. So what I would suggest is that we're about to do that now. So let's simply copy this exact name. So if this name is different, then this will not work for you, right? So just copy this, right? And this error is coming, hey, you don't have a Boston subnet, but do create that with at least /27. So let's do this now. We're going to go for manage subnet configuration. So go ahead and click that. After you copy this, go ahead and click that manage subnet configuration, right? Once you click that manage subnet configuration, hopefully you've done that, then you can see one subnet there. Now ignore that the IP range is this. Whatever your IP range is, it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the plus subnet. Go ahead and click the plus subnet here. And then we can right click and paste. So there's that Azure Bastion subnet that you have put. And once you click the plus subnet, it must have given you your range, whatever your IP range, automatically it would have given you whatever the next subnet will be, it would have given that. So if it has given to you, these are the only two things we need to do to create a Bastion subnet. The only main thing to understand is that the name is exactly the same with the same spellings and whatever IP range is there. If that is done, go ahead and press OK. I'm going to press OK now. And there should be another subnet. Now once that is done, this is pretty much it. So that was easy, right? So make sure that on the bell icon on the top right that you see this successfully added subnet, and that is this Azure Bastion subnet. So and then uncheck the bell icon, right? And I'm going to click refresh to just check it out, that is it there or not. It didn't give me address range. Okay, John says it didn't give me. So John, do you see the default subnet address range, whatever that is? Mine showing 10.200/24. So what you can do is, suppose it's 10.00 or 10.100 or 10.3 or 10.4. So you just need to add the range with 10.2.1 or 10.3, whatever your range is, .1. So that would be your different subnet now. So and then you have to complete it exactly like this. 10, suppose it's 2.1.0/24. Just put that range, and if the name is exactly the same, go ahead and press OK. So just give a different subnet, that's all, from the current subnet. So if you have done that and pressed OK, then check the bell icon here, and it should be saying this, and then refresh here, right? Refresh. Okay, so once that is done, hopefully it is done for everyone, then we can actually go back to that virtual machine. So you can see on the top here, your virtual machine name, which is ending with SQL. Just click that, right? So once you click that, so now the error should be gone. So if the error is gone, hopefully the error is gone, right? Then we can click the create button. There's a create here, right? I'm not clicking that because maybe somebody just says, oh, this is not working, that is not working. So that's why I'm just giving a little time, and then I'll click the create as well, right? So once you click create, in fact, this is my exchange machine that we have created there. So I was showing there, but I am not creating here now. But you can go ahead and click create, and it should be done successfully for you. I'll just go back to my overview. So it does take a little time for the Bastion subnet and the configuration to be created and configured. And after that, what happens is, oh, okay. So Keith and Harshan are saying that, can you repeat the step? Okay, sure. So guys, here, if you're in that virtual machine, then you can go to connect, and then you can go to Bastion. Hopefully you're there. And once you click button, so you should be on your SQL machine, not like me to the Exchange machine. You should be on your SQL machine, right? That's where you're doing that. So once you're in overview of the SQL machine, then click connect, and then there's a bastion here. Once you click the bastion, then click use bastion, right? Okay, so John says 10.100.10.1.0.255 plus 5 reserved. It shows me this error no matter what IP and I put. Oh, okay. John, then let me just show this, and then in fact I'm going there as well. So use bastion. John, did you create a new VNet like we all did, or did you just create that, you know, the initial machine in the default VNet? Did you create an extra VNet there? John Cedric, that is Fernandez. Because bastion cannot be created in a default VNet. It has to be created in a, you know, VNet that we create ourselves. Okay. Let me just go there. So guys, if you see that here, then just copy that. Those two guys who were not able to do that, go ahead and copy this. So let me just finish this, Harshan and Keith. So if you have copied this, make sure you copied this. Hopefully you're doing that. And then go manage subnet configuration. Go ahead and click that, manage subnet configuration. You will be seeing a red line here. The rest are not seeing because they're done, right? So once you click that manage subnet configuration, so John, I'll be telling you, let me just finish that. Harshan and Keith, hopefully you're following. So I got those. Okay, these two you got, Harshan? Oh, then you're okay. Okay. Okay, so Harshan, you're okay. Keith? Keith, okay. Keith, if you have just one subnet here, just click that plus subnet here. Just click that plus subnet, Keith. And once you click that plus subnet, so there is a subnet here, you have to paste that name here. Okay, yeah, Gideon, Bastion still validating, which is okay. Bastion takes long time. Sometimes our internet speed is also you know, it adds to the delay. So Keith, you have copied this, and then you either automatically the IP range will come here, or you can put a next range there. So whatever your range is here, 10.200/24. So this is my default subnet range. You can go for 10.210/24 or 10.310 or 10.4, whichever your IP range is. I think we had 10.4. So 10.410/24, 10.4.1.0/24. So just go for that. Ignore that what is showing here, and so, and then if that is done, you have put a name and you have put an IP range. Then click somewhere else. So it should be green as well. It should not give you an error, right? It should be green, and then press OK. So don't go for 10.2, whatever your range here is, or maybe it has given you automatic range. Hopefully you're done, and go ahead and press OK, and hopefully there was no error there, Keith. Once that is done, then you can come back. Okay, Cedric is showing me a screenshot, and that screenshot here is, oh, that's 10.0.0. So Cedric, you have you got it now. Okay, Keith is done. So where's Cedric? Yeah, John Cedric. John, you have 10.0.0 subnet here, right? So you can't type there 10.4. You have to go for 10.0.10. So 10.0.1.0/24. So John, you try to type this there with that exact name. So 10.0 should be there, .1.0/24, and then press OK. So John, when you're trying that, let me know if it is good. Okay. What? Okay, if this goes on longer, Okay, there's a guy stuck outside, a student stuck outside the room, can't log in, don't know why. So guys, if it is done, I'm just gonna go away from this now, right? And your unsafe edits will be discarded. Okay, and mine is taking a long time to create. Yes, Dylan, it takes a long time. But Dylan, are you Gideon and Dylan? Are you connected with RDP to the server already? Are you connected, both Gideon and Dylan, with RDP to the server? Gideon is connected. Okay. Jericho, you're connected or not? Still validating. Yeah, it takes much longer time. Do not disturb that process there. But if you have gone through if it's processing, you're good. Okay, mine is done. Okay, Gideon is done now. So anytime it's gonna be done. So yeah, we don't have to be worried about that. It's just from Azure side whenever it is done. So it's gonna take its time, which is out of our control. So guys, that's the second thing. Bastion, you don't have to compulsorily use that, but it's easier, and it's a alternate way to connect from RDP. If your RDP is not connected, remote desktop, then you can go for this as well. Okay, so Bastion may be still processing. Leave it at that, and let it process. But the thing is that we need to go for our next tasks there as well, right? So make sure to make the IP of your DC static. We're going to do that. That's one thing. I'll just make it red. The rest we have done. Once you are connected successfully from Bastion to DC, then we can also remove our public IP. Well, don't do that yourself. It's just an option that I'm telling you that you can also remove your public IP and only on. So this is a very good security feature as well. Anyway, keep your public IP there and don't, mess with that. So I'm just going to go for the next step there. Let's make sure that our NSG has an inbound rule and an outbound rule allowing all traffic from anywhere to anywhere within our VNet. So what does that mean? I'm just going to go to the diagram here, and it means that we're allowing all kind of traffic between these two machines here, right? And all kind of traffic would include our Active Directory, which is LDAP, so it is 389 traffic. 3389 is RDP, LDAP is 389, right? So in production environments, in interviews and projects, you will be asked that as well. Okay, so there's another message here with so Gideon, the target machine is either currently unreachable or username password is not correct. Please re-verify for credentials if the problem persists. So Gideon, are you able to? Are you trying to RDP, or are you trying to go Bastion with that? So you just have to put your username password correct one. And is it started? So Gideon, make sure that your machine is started first of all. If it's not started, go to overview and click the start button. Then after 2-3 minutes, it's going to connect to your through Bastion or through RDP. But is it started or not, right? So Kingsley is asking, the lab started already. Already? It's 7 o'clock, man. Yes, it's 1 hour now. Okay. So guys, what we're trying to do here is we're gonna allow all the traffic between the two virtual machines security group. That's the next step. And so this means that our next step would be make changes to the VM network security group, NSG, or network security group, and allow all traffic to be going back and forth, going to from the two VMs, right? So we need to do that. One more thing about the security group here in Azure, and that is we need to attach this NSG or network security group to our subnets as well. Why I'm saying subnets? Because now we have our custom subnet and Bastion subnet as well. So if you don't have Bastion subnet, then just connect this to your custom subnet, the only subnet that we created when we created the VNet. Otherwise, we're gonna connect this NSG to the Bastion subnet as well. So why do we connect it to virtual machine and subnet? Because first of all, NSG, what do they do? Obviously, we discussed last time, NSG allows and blocks traffic, right? So this NSG or network security group has to be connected to both machines to allow and block traffic, but it has to be connected to the subnet where these machines are living, right? So subnet will also know, oh, this is the traffic you want to allow, this is the traffic you want to block. Basically, we're allowing every traffic, and we're telling subnet and both virtual machines that these two guys need to allow all the traffic between them, right? Okay, so once this is discussed, that what is the purpose of what we're doing now, so let's make sure that our NSG has an inbound and rule and outbound rule allowing all traffic form, so from anywhere to anywhere, and that so then the Bastion configuration and removing the public IP even becomes more useful, because then you're allowing all the traffic. It's like your private subnet or your home network or any private network now. So okay guys, let's go for this NSG configuration there. So I'm just gonna go for that network security group configuration here, and we have talked about the purpose of that as well. So I'm just going to cancel out from here and go to my SQL Server machine here, and in the SQL Server machine, what do you see here? So your first name VM1 SQL, and there's overview. Hopefully you're in the SQL Server machine there and in the dashboard of that machine. So here you can see we're on the overview, right? But if you go down, there's a networking showing here. Networking, right? So in that networking, you can see that there's a network card here. There's a network interface written here, and what we see, there's a virtual network and subnet here. So what we need to go for is this network security group. Hopefully you were able to see this network security group, right? So your virtual machine and then networking and then network security group. So whatever is written in front of it is your network security group. So what we can do is we can just click on top of this. So we could add inbound rules there, although we can just click that directly as well. So let's click that and remember that this is your network security group there, right? So I'm just going to click that. We're inside the network security group that allows and blocks ports and is attached to our domain controller right now. So once we are there, so there you can just go down to inbound security rules. First we're going to go here, then we're going to go to outbound security rules as well, right? So inside network security group, let's click inbound security rules and quickly add that rule that, hey, any traffic coming from the other VM, I'm allowing that. So let's click add an inbound rule. The good thing is you don't have to come to this NSG again, because this NSG you can connect to, suppose you create 10 more virtual machines later, so this NSG can be connected to those 10 virtual machines as well. We're going to just create one more machine. So once you're inside the add button here, now here source, any source, but destination, what should be the destination? Not port 8080, we're not going for any specific port. You can find that asterisk button here so shift 8 would be your asterisk or star, right? So this means that all kind of ports, all ports are allowed from that virtual machine, other virtual machine, right? So destination port ranges, and then we go down to that's the first change we did, and it is protocol is any TCP UDP ICMP action is allowed. Priority is you can see that there's a priority written there, and if you can see the priority there, 1000, 1010, and 65,000, 65,001, 65,500. So what happens is we need to give it top priority, right? So this means that the number has to be lower than 1000 as well. So what we can go for is priority here 999. So that's less than 1000, right? So this means that this should be the first rule that should implement, and the network will make sure that any kind of traffic is allowed between these two guys. So, and other than that, you can just put here the rule that your first name dash all dash traffic dash allowed. So your first name, all traffic allowed, right? So hopefully everyone was following that. If somebody's falling behind, you can also just stay and you can sit back and try to understand everything and then follow the video, but let me know that what was the reason for you were not able to upload. Okay, so if this is all traffic allowed, there are some messages here that 1433 is a port for SQL, and that is exposed. 1521 is for Oracle DB, MySQL DB. So all those PostgreDB right now, they're saying that, hey, it's open network now. Well, if you use Bastion host and remove the public IP, then it's just a private network of your own. Okay, so if that is done, let's click add. If this is about everything, what is the point of other rules? Yes, Amir says, so right now we're trying to make sure that these two guys talk to each other with the LDAP as well, which is Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. And if you put specific ports there, that is not allowing the member server to talk to the Active Directory. So we can just ignore the other rules. Yeah, we can delete that as well. If they're there, it's okay. If they're not there, it's okay. It's up to us. The other rules being there does not matter anymore now. Yes, all right. So it's just for our training purpose. And the thing is that so many errors come if we don't do that. So I have to still master this whole configuration in production environments. Even we didn't have to go this way. We had multiple subnets there. But this is training environment, and with very limited things we can do, so it's really impossible to go for a lot of extra options. Okay guys, so here if you've done that, let's click add button. And so this all kind of traffic is added for inbound security rules, and if it is added already, then there's let's go for outbound security rules as well. So under the inbound security rules is outbound security rules. Let's click that. Once you click the outbound security rules, we're pretty much going to do the same thing. So whatever's going outside of the virtual machine, which means that suppose SQL Server wants to connect to the Active Directory for Active Directory users, or any other thing like that. So outbound traffic should be open as well. I'm going to click add here. And this is the outbound security rule, and we're going to go down to source is already there. Okay, so Amir says this failed to create security rule. What's the error other than that? So it says error, that's it. And now hopefully Harshan says failed. So two guys had failed written there. So guys, in the inbound security rule, if I go back, I'm going to click the add button here. So where did you make the change? See this? Your security rule, just click that security rule again. You should be back there, and make sure that it was destination port that you changed. We only changed the destination port, the priority, and the name of the port. That's all, right? So did you put star there? Okay, Amir says try again. You will try again. Harshan, what about you? So there's a star there. So yeah, try to configure it again. Okay, so there's you can aging and start everything again. So Hamid, you can just go to the resource group here. See this, Hamid? Guys, wait a second. Wait a second here. Oh, So Hamid, are you talking about Azure, right? Or are you talking about the VMware workstation? So you were working on that. So okay, Azure. So see this, you can go to this portal group, portal menu, then you go down to resource group here. Now we're not supposed to. We're just once you go to the Hamid, once you go to the resource group, if which resource group you want to delete. So we had one that had that does not have a SQL written there. So that's obviously for Exchange Server or mail administration. The other one is SQL. If you want to just go for SQL, then click the SQL like this, right? Resource group, whatever is attached to that will be deleted automatically. So, and then go to delete resource group. Guys, no one else do that. No one else do that, right? Put that delete resource group here, Hamid, and then select this name like this. It just needs its name again, the full name of what? The resource group. Copy that. No one else do that. No one else do that. I'm pasting that here, the exact name that is under the code, inside the quotes, without the quotes. When you put that name and go ahead and click delete, everything for SQL will be deleted. Hopefully you got it. So, oh, okay. So, all right. Well, so here, Harshan shows this. Amir says he got it. Okay, Harshan. So, was your error also fixed? So I'm just gonna put your machine there. Fail to create security rule. Fail to create security rule. All traffic error. That's it. So Harshan, did you try to create that? Amir, did you make any change? Can you also share that? What did you fix? Was it the name or was it the Harshan all traffic? Yeah, there is no space there, and hyphens are there, so that's normally how the error comes. So Harshan, you can just click that all traffic again, and then try to just make the changes. So I'm just gonna show you how to do that. Oh, okay. So Amir says he deleted that and made it again. So Harshan, can you try that too? Delete it and just so I'm there, and so what you can do is you can click here and just simply delete it, and then go to add and create it again, right? Well, um, Earth to Harshan, Earth to Harshan. Yeah, let me know when. Yeah, I'm sure you're. Oh, you're creating. That's very good. So when you're creating, yeah, this is the screen here, and the only changes I made was destination port range is just asterisk here, any protocol here, and Brady says I deleted it, and it says the rule with this name already exists. Then it would either it is in the so what you can do is Brady, that you can change the name for that. Just put it in allowed and then put number one there, or just change the spellings of that. So just change the name of it slightly, and keep the rest the same, because either that group is not deleted or it is in the process of deleting right now. So let it delete and refresh, and then do that. Check your bell icon as well, right? And otherwise, refresh the whole page here from here, and then try it again. Yeah. So when you delete it, wait for some seconds. Okay, there you go. Armor says that. So when you delete it, wait for some seconds, and okay. So Ahmed says, but could you about DNS one more time, please? Because I create a new VM SQL, but I don't see DNS. Yeah, Hamid sees this. So guys, right now we just have to be patient. This is a new environment as well, and there are just different configurations there. So let's bear with each other. So by fourth, fifth, sixth class, maybe we'll be faster, right? So Hamid sees that. See that about the DNS. What we did was, if you go to the portal menu here, then you can go to the VNet, right? There's a virtual network here. So in the virtual network, what we did was, you can go to the your first name VNet SQL there. your first name SQL VNet. So hopefully you're there in the your first name VNet SQL. In the SQL, what we did was we went to DNS servers of the virtual network that we created. We went to the DNS servers. We told the virtual network, the private network that we created, we told it, hey, we don't need your DNS. We will talk to our own DNS, which is the IP of your domain controller, which is the private IP of your domain controller. So yeah, sure, Brady, it's okay. Add your last name. So what we did, Hamid, was that we went to DNS server and we just added our IP, private IP of our. Okay, great. So Chang says, oh, sorry. That's sorry. At this time, a humble student actually also clicked. So I'm just gonna. Oh, sorry. I'll tell him. Sorry. No, don't worry. It's okay. Others, I'm also attending to others, so it's we all have to, bear with each other right now. I understand it's a new environment, so we're gonna go. It's gonna be slow, but it's okay. Once we're on the same page, then we're gonna go faster. So now, who's saying? Harshan is saying I got it. Great, Harshan, well done. So I'll add my last name initial if it. So Brady, hopefully it was done for you as well. And so yeah, if I go back to this, so that was the inbound rule. This is exactly the same thing we're gonna do with the outbound rule. So I'm just gonna close that inbound rule here, where I just allowed everything there, right? So once that inbound security rule is created, I'm gonna go for outbound security rule as well. So guys, hopefully you're all in outbound security rule, where we're pretty much gonna do it the same thing. We're just allowing every traffic or all kind of traffic there. So let's click that add here, right? In the outbound security rule. Remember that you should be in the outbound security rule now, right? So once you click the add button here, then you see source is any. We'll keep it like that. Source port range is asterisk, which is also okay. Any destination is also any, but the traffic, the port, we want the traffic to be any as well, which is asterisk, right? So pretty much the same thing for the inbound rule we're doing for the outbound rule. So later you will find that how important it was. So destination port range is asterisk here, and priority is 100, which is okay. The name, so I'm gonna go for your first name dash allowing dash all dash traffic, or all traffic allowed, or allowing all traffic, whatever, right? So pretty much the same thing, right? And I'm gonna click add button here as well. So hopefully you were able to create the outbound rule as well, and I'm gonna click add now. So once we click add, so this is your outbound security. This is how it's looking like. And if I go to inbound security, this is how it is looking like. Well, we had the other rules there, but later I found that our Active Directory is really creating a lot of problems and issues. So it's not our typical. I wish we were doing that on desktops, so it would have been so easy. Anyway, but guys, just one more statement for this. Your future is Azure or AWS. So whichever IT job you get, they're going to be asking this: Azure, AWS, Google Cloud. Have you done any work on that? So it's kind of okay. It's kind of good for you. It's just tough for me with limited facilities that the free tier gives us. Okay, guys. So take a screenshot of inbound security rules, and so VNet. So it's just NSG inbound security rule. So take a screen. So click the inbound security rule, take a screenshot of this, and the title is NSG inbound security rule. So let me just give you a sample screenshot of that, obviously with your name. And I've taken a screenshot, and I'm putting that in WhatsApp here in the group. So it's okay, it's equal. So screenshot 2 is NSG inbound security rule, right? And I'll just put the whole screenshot. So there's your sample for the screenshot. That's how it should look like with the names. I'll put that now in that portal as well. Okay, screenshot to NSG inbound security rule. Okay, so that's done as well. Okay, so guys, screenshot 3 is NSG outbound security rules. Screenshot 3 is NSG outbound security rules. So we'll be used to this type of format of going with the labs, and then it will be faster, but right now it's okay. We'll just go a bit slow, or if everyone is okay or have no issues, then obviously I can go faster. Screenshot 3 equals NSG outbound security rule, right? So that would be obviously your third screenshot now, which is just go to Outbound and then simply take a screenshot of that, and this is the title for that. Outbound NSG outbound security rule. I haven't taken that screenshot, so I'm just gonna go there. This is the inbound security rule. I'm just gonna click that outbound security rule now, and take a screenshot of that as well, and I'll put it on screenshot 3 NSG outbound security rule. Okay, here as well. So once that is done, let's go ahead. So hopefully everyone was able to take the third screenshot as well. Brady says, can you show me the outbound security rules? Okay, so if I go to the NSG and I'm on the outbound security rule now, and it looks like this. If you want me to show you how I created that, so it's, I just click the add button, and then if you want me to show that, let me know. So outbound security rule looks like this. It's priorities 100. Okay, so see this, click add, and the first, nothing, no change. Second, no change. Third, the destination, no change. But the fourth, destination port ranges, what do we put there? Asterisk, right? And once you go down, there's protocol is any, action is allow, no change. Priority, well, priority, if you see 100, it's okay, right? So only change the name there, and that is your first name, and allowing all, traffic. Well, I already created that, so it's giving me an error, so I'm not gonna actually go ahead, and obviously it's not gonna let me add as well. So go ahead and put that name there with these configurations and click add, and it should be done. Okay, cool. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna close from there. So hopefully you have taken the screenshot of the outbound security rules as well as the inbound security rule. If that is all done, let's go ahead. So if I go back to the diagram, so we had created a last class the SQL Server. Then now we first of all configured the DNS that we're not gonna use the DNS of the VNet. We're gonna use the DNS of our domain controller. So DNS was changed to our first VM DNS. So we installed the DNS there, so that's the DNS. So that's one thing And second thing is we went to the network security group. That network security group allows and blocks ports. It is attached to first machine right now. It will be attached to the second machine when we create that. We're about to. And it will also be attached to the subnet here. The subnet here. So subnet will know that, oh, these two guys are exchanging all kind of traffic. Okay, I get it. So subnet has to know that too, right? So if NSG is done, before DNS was done, now NSG is done. So the good thing is that we're going to use this NSG, same NSG network security group for the second machine. We're going to add this same NSG to the subnet as well. So only that NSG we're going to use because we can connect this NSG network security group to even 2000 machines if you want. Okay, let's excuse me. So if I go ahead, let's make sure that our NSG has an inbound done. Make sure to attach this NSG to both Bastion subnet and the subnet we created. Now, okay, let's do that. So we're going to attach our network security group that we carefully configured now to the subnet. If we have more than one subnet, we're going to attach to both subnets, or if we have one subnet only, then we're going to attach to that subnet. So how to attach that same NSG to our subnet as well? So let's do that. So this subnet should know, and the virtual machine already knows that what traffic we are allowing, what traffic we are blocking. So I'm back here to the NSG now. Remember that your NSG is this same NSG need to be connected to the second machine that we are about to create, and then the subnet that we're about to connect now. So if you're on the NSG already, if you go down, there's inbound security rule, there's outbound security rule, then there's network interfaces, then you see this subnets, right? Hopefully everyone is seeing inside the network security group subnets as well. Let's click that subnets. Now once we click the subnet, then there's an associate button. So you can associate this network security group and tell the subnet this traffic is blocked, this traffic is allowed. So we're going to associate this network security group to our subnet or subnets. So once you click the associate button here, I'm going to go for virtual network. Oh, which virtual network are we working on? So ignore that I have two SQL. One is test, one is this. So whichever VNet says SQL, go ahead and select that, right? Exactly. I shouldn't say SQL. So once you select that, you would see that I have two subnets. Some of you who have created the Bastion, or some of you who have not created the Bastion, so it's up to you. If you create the Bastion, you will see that two subnets here. If you didn't create the Bastion, you will see one subnet there. If you have both, you need to connect to both this NSG. If you have one, just connect to one, right? So I'm going to go to the first one here, which we created, and that's it. Simple, right? Press OK. And once it is done, we need to associate this particular network security group to the second subnet as well. Excuse me. So I'm going to click that associate here, and I'll just simply do the same thing now. If you have just one, that's okay. If you have two, then just do that again. So SQL again, and now the second subnet, which is Bastion subnet, and press OK. Okay, so once that is done, so now you need to take a screenshot number 4, and that is NSG associated to subnets or subnet. Depends on if you have one subnet, then this, or subnets if you have two subnets. So screenshot number 4 would be this, that NSG attached to subnets or subnet. So I'm just gonna take a sample screenshot here. So that network security, so I'm just gonna put that here, SQL dash screenshot 4 NSG associated to subnets. In my case, it's nets, so I'll keep it subnets. So that's screenshot number 4 there on WhatsApp, and I'll put it on here as well. Screenshot 4 NSG associated to subnets. Okay, so it's on the Office OneNote as well. So guys, if we are done with that, hopefully we are, and we're trying to gather some pace now. But I'll go slow with your speed. If anyone has issues like that are resolvable, in few minutes, then yes, I'm there to help. Otherwise, guys, suppose you're stuck and during the week you're doing that, you can just put the screenshot on WhatsApp during the week as well, and I can tell you that what you can do. And there are other friends as well who can help. Alright guys, so once NSG has been also configured, we can still move on to the rest of the configuration. So there's on the next page we see here that make sure to create a reverse lookup zone and configure the NS lookup to show our DNS. Okay, so Dong has shown a screenshot here. I'll just put it there. That's a big one. That's a whole lot of error. So group for subnet, blah blah blah. Okay, fail to save network security group for subnet Azure Bastion subnet. Yeah, because blah 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 blah. Used by resource this. Whoa. Is not succeeded state, resource is in failed state, and the last operation that updated is updating the resource is put Bastion host operation. So what you can do, Dong, is that you can delete. So do you see that Bastion subnet actually there? If not, then you can try to create again. And September 2020 SQL, yeah, correct resource group. So you seem to be okay. It just took too much time, maybe internet speed or something else. So try to, if you see that Azure Bastion subnet actually showing there, so refresh your screen, refresh the browser screen as well, and see if it's not showing there. If it's showing there, delete it and recreate it. If it's not showing there, then just go ahead and recreate that. So plus subnet, and then put exact this name, and then put an IP range there. So it did not even give that you have put a wrong IP range, so it's not wrong IP range. You can just try to create again and let me know. Otherwise, and if you want to know how to create that, let me know. I'll show you. Okay, so I'll just close that. Okay, so try to recreate, and if you're stuck, let me know. So guys, here, make sure to create a reverse lookup zone. Now this is, we need to just configure our DNS. This happens in our production environments, that you have to create a reverse lookup zone, and this also happens you can also do that in your VMware Workstation machines, those who are still using that. So let's try to create a reverse lookup zone so our DNS can resolve. If it has an IP address, it can resolve its name, and if it has a name, it can resolve its IP address. So forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone, normally these are the two areas of DNS. So SQL Server definitely need a working DNS as well. Now I'm just going to go back to this to configure our DNS settings. For this, you need to be logged inside your domain controller, and then we're going to run this command nslookup in command prompt admin to check that how our DNS is showing the fully qualified domain name. So let's go inside our SQL Server. So outside of SQL Server, we did NSG and DNS related configurations, but DNS configuration has to be done inside the SQL Server, or inside the domain controller as well. So where's the machine that I was connected to? In fact, this is the machine. I have bastioned into the machine, so you can see that it's not a RDP separate window here. It's just within the browser. It's open there. So it's quite useful and easy to connect to it and stay connected within the browser, right? All right, guys. So here, if you're inside your domain controller, then we can just open. You can see there. Right click here. How did you get here? Gideon, did you remotely connect it to your machine? So if you go to your virtual machine, so just go to the portal menu here, this one, portal menu, and go to virtual machines here, this one, right? Once you go to the virtual machine, then you should see your virtual machine, your first name, VM1 SQL, right? Once you click that, your first name, VM1 SQL, hopefully you're following, Gideon, then you can go to connect here, and you can either connect through RDP or through Bastion. So if you already know how to connect through RDP from last class, you can just connect from there, or you want to go Bastion, then click Bastion here, and if I click use Bastion, so it just asks username password here. Yeah, so this is Bastion, and no, Harshan, are you saying how to create a Bastion again? Because we have shown that, or I have shown that like 2-3 times. So now you have to follow the video. For now, you can just connect through RDP. Username, what's the username again? So username is, see this, I'll just show you from the virtual machine. If right click here, guys, go to command prompt admin. Those who were already inside, you can go to this right click here in command prompt admin while I show Gideon the username. So it was, if I go for who am I, there's a command called who am I, no spaces, and enter. So the username was your first name, admin SQL. The username was your first name, admin SQL, one word, ADMIN SQL. That was the username, Gideon. Harshan, are you trying to connect with RDP or Bastion? So with Bastion, you can just click the connect, click Bastion, and then click use Bastion, big blue button there. Okay, cool, very good. So here, hopefully Gideon is also connected. So guys, you can all go inside this server. All right, very good, very good. So guys, if you're connected, hopefully you've opened the command prompt with administrator privileges. It's important to open it with admin privileges, right? So how do you open that? Now, don't be confused with this two Windows icon. This is my local Windows 10 icon, and this is my Windows Server icon. So I'm just going to right click here on my Windows Server Windows icon, and then go to this command prompt. Hopefully everyone was able to open that. So if you have opened that command prompt with admin, make sure it is admin, and it's written here administrator as well. Make sure it is written there. So once you are inside, go ahead and type the command. First command, who am I? And keep it typed there. Second is host name command. So your username will be, so it's just giving you, these two commands are giving us the information that what is your domain name. In my case, it is your first name SQL. Then what is your domain administrator username? That is your first name. So after backslash, your first name admin SQL. And then it's the host name command gives you the name of your virtual machine here, right? So hopefully you have put the who am I command and you have put the host name command here. If you have put those commands here, then the third one is NS lookup. What is this? Name server lookup. What does that mean? Search my DNS server. Name server lookup or NS lookup means search my DNS server, right? So I'm going to go for NS lookup, or NS lookup just tells you that is it giving you the correct fully qualified domain name. What is a fully qualified domain name? If I go to local server here in the background and I click that computer name here, so this is the fully qualified domain name, FQDN, which means the name of the virtual machine and the domain it belongs to, the name of the domain. Your first name SQL.local is your domain name and the name of the server or the virtual machine. So that is called FQDN. So when we type NSLookup, this FQDN should come here as well, which means the DNS is, you know, configured properly. So if you're in this command prompt, go ahead and type NSLookup and press enter. I press enter, and what I see is localhost and the address is 127.0.0.1. So that's not my fully qualified domain name, and that might give us problems later, right, when we are working on SQL Server. This is, you know, what we don't need. So you also see that I got unknown, yeah, which is okay. If you got unknown, this is also okay. So either, but it's not FQDN, that's the main thing. It's not FQDN, right? So if it shows unknown, guys, this is okay. Unknown is okay. In fact, I think I have to correct something here. You know, I have to do rigorous testing, and for that, so ignore what I'm doing right now. But I had already created those guys there. So pressure. Oh, serious. Okay. It's still resolving, but yes, right now it is showing unknown. So I'll just try to make sure it goes. Oh, localhost or unknown, both are okay. Now, if you see that NSLookup here, so who am I, host name and NSLookup, that's your screenshot number 5 here. So we could know that what is our current configuration, and then we're gonna configure on top of this some more well, features. So take a screenshot number 5, which shows who am I, host name, and the NSLookup result. If it's unknown, it's okay. So take a screenshot number 5. So we can say that screenshot number 5 title is that result of commands on first VM. So SQL dash screenshot 5 result of commands on first VM. So I put that, oh, and take a screenshot. Okay, it's there. So I'll just quickly put it here. So screenshot 5 result of commands on first VM, and okay, screenshot here as well. Okay, guys. So let's try to go ahead. Where was I? Yeah. Okay, guys. So here, what we need to do is, if you see this result here, you can just you know, go out of this NSLookup interactive mode by typing Control C or Control Z, right? So if I go for Control button on my keyboard and C, so you can see that it's out on my folder structure, C drive folder structure. So just type Control C or just yeah, on the keyboard, and you should be out of the NSLookup mode, because we're gonna run NSLookup again as well. Alright, guys. So if you have Control C out of this, I'm gonna minimize this now. The command prompt. I'm gonna minimize this now. The command prompt. I'm not gonna close it. I'm gonna just minimize it. So and then yeah. Oh, Gideon says no break. 7:36. Hey, when are we supposed to take a break? Oh, okay. So Brady says, what if your address shown under NSLookup is this? So this is Brady. IPv6 is configured. That's why it is showing that. Otherwise, it's okay. Yep. Jacob says it's okay. Yep. So I'm gonna tell you how to fix that too. So guys, here, if once you have put those 3 commands, then go for tools here on the top right. So hopefully your server manager is open already. If not open, then you can see this icon here. and the server manager is open. Once you click that server and suitcase icon, then go to the top right here, tools, and then go to this DNS, right? Now this DNS has to be configured for the other course machine, which is mail server administration. The DNS has to be perfect if we expect any application to work properly. The DNS has to be configured with best practices. So let's go to tools and click the DNS as well. So I think we're going to take break at 8 o'clock, right? So that's the half time, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So tools and DNS. Once you click the DNS here, hopefully you see your DNS here now. And we're going to expand that your machine name, your first name VM1 SQL. We're going to expand that. You see forward lookup zone here. You see reverse lookup zone here. So the thing is, we're going to expand or double click the forward lookup zone. And you see your domain name there. Your first name, SQL.local. This is called the zone of your domain. And here, what you see is, okay, ignore that. There's a second machine here. So you just see your one machine showing here, right? Okay, and okay, I'll just ignore the other one. So this one, now what we can do is forward lookup zone is configured. It resolves host names to IP addresses or computer names to IP addresses, while reverse lookup zone is not configured. So we're going to configure that too. So reverse lookup zone does the opposite. If it has an IP address, it will resolve or give you its computer name, right? So it does the opposite. So let's right click on the reverse lookup zone. First check it. First go ahead and select it with left click. Then right click it and it will show you new zone. So it will show you new zone. Yeah. So John says he's having trouble running my RDP. Can you share a screenshot or something? Were you able to configure the bastion? You can connect that way as well. Can you share a screenshot? So let me know. And guys, there's one more thing here. You can also go to WebEx and there's a share button here or assign button here. So you can share your screen and I can directly see your screen right away, and I can tell you what to do. And I can also request access to your screen. You can only if you allow. There will be an allow button there. If you allow, then I can also connect to your machine quickly and configure and troubleshoot for you, right? Okay, so John shows this. And yeah, that's okay, remote desktop error. That's a common one. And did it just happen now, or did it happen since the start of the class? And so John, can you give me access to your machine so I had that last time? Okay. So John, what you can do is you can go to the WebEx and you can click this share button. If you see the share button or you see the assign button, once you click the share, we all will be able to see your screen, and then I can request access and just right now. Oh, okay, so you got just right now. So there are options there if you want me to. So this could be anything in the background. I mean, this could be a bit longer troubleshooting as well. So if you want me to troubleshoot quickly, you can go to WebEx and click some share button there to share your screen. We will all see that, and then we can configure it. And I can also request access. If you allow, then I will be connected and I can just troubleshoot for you. Or we can do it at 10 o'clock and right now sit back and try to understand everything and do the rest of the labs when the video opens and late submission is okay. Okay, share your screen. Okay, that's good. Okay, guys, so if hopefully it's resolvable sooner. Now also guys, this can be a break time as well. 7:42, 52, 8:02. But maybe John also needs a break. So we'll try to resolve it a bit quickly here. Oh, I can't see anything. So I will ask to control Keith. I have requested a control, and there's a error there. There's a message there on your side. Okay, take control. Hey, how come I cannot see anything? So that's strange. I'm unable to see anything. Does your PC say deallocated? Oh yeah. If did you start the machine, Pete? So if it is stopped, obviously you won't be able to connect. But I am unable to see anything right now. Maybe you've shared your second screen, maybe. So not I can't see anything. It's just all black for me. I don't know why. You have a team viewer, and we can give the guys a break. Also, you can just try to check that did you start the machine or not. Wow, that's strange. I cannot see your screen. Huh. I tried, but it keeps saying that error. No, did you start the machine? The start is different. Okay, so it is started. Okay. If it is started, then yeah. And you did not create the bastion as well, right, John? You did not create the bastion as well? Oh, you did? So why don't you try to connect from bastion? You can go to overview and click connect, and then click bastion. I mean, no, I didn't do bastion. Oh, okay, so I'm not able to see your screen, and so I have to share back my screen because I mean, there's no benefit of setting if I cannot see your screen. I'm not sure why it's not showing anything, so I'm just gonna share back. If you have TeamViewer, we can connect from that too. Do you have TeamViewer? In that case, guys, you can take a 20-minute break, and then I can connect to with TeamViewer to Keith's machine and try to fix the issue. Okay, so Keith has or is Keith is on. There's a WhatsApp. I think it's. Oh, sorry, that's another student, and you're another student. So John, you can share. There's Jacob has mentioned something there. So also try this control panel, system security, allow remote access, select your user, and add the property to allow remote access. Oh, on your Windows 10 in his running set. John, you can also still, yeah, you can try this, but also try to give me that team viewer so I could quickly just check out and at least configure Bastion for you. So next time you can connect from there. So guys, it's a break now. 7:46 then. 7:56, 8:06. So we can connect at 8:06 while I have to also connect with TeamViewer. So let's take a break here. I'm just gonna pause the video. Okay guys, so we're back from the break, and we're gonna go ahead with welcome to the new zone wizard. So click next here. So the defaults are okay here. Primary, secondary, stub. Next here. Defaults are okay here. And next here, IPv4 reverse lookup zone. So I'm gonna click next, and then we can just check that what IP range we have there. So we're going to put that range. So how would we know what IP range we have? So we can go to this first tab. We can just right click here and duplicate. We want to go to the VNet, right? So I want to see that. So I'm just going to go right click here, duplicate, and log into this again. So I just want to go to the portal menu. After I create a duplicate tab, I'll go to the portal menu, and I'll go to the virtual networks, right? And there, what virtual network were we using? So I'll go back to my machine and check that what virtual network I was using. So that my virtual machine is open on this tab, and there's the networking in the virtual machine. Well, actually I can see my range from here as well. So in the networking of virtual machine, your first name VM1 SQL 10404 is there. So 10.4.0. This much we need to put there in that configuration. So I'm just going to go back to my machine. I partition into my machine here, and 10.4.0. Then I'm going to click next, and the defaults are okay, and that's it, finish. So here, reverse lookup zone, and what we need to do next is we can just expand that, right? Expand that reverse lookup zone, then click inside. So inside we check that, oh, there's the machine name is not there. Which machine name? This machine name here. If I go to local server in server manager, so this machine name is not showing here. So this is your DNS window that was open where we were working. I'm going to click that, and so I need to have the machine name here as well. So I'm just going to go to forward lookup zone. So there's a forward lookup zone, and there's a reverse lookup zone. So we were working inside reverse lookup zone. So we're going to go for forward lookup zone here, and expand that, and then there's a domain here, and then what we want to do is that we want to go for this name, your first name VM1 SQL. Double click that, and what we need to do is we need to checkbox update associated pointer record. So I'm just going to click check and apply, and okay, right? So once you check and apply and okay here, then you go up to server here and refresh. So now if we go back here to the reverse lookup zone, so expand that and then go to this again. So now you see your machine here name here as well. So that's good, right? Okay, so after this we can go for the screenshot. So we have created the reverse lookup zone, right? So we can go down to NS lookup again. I'm going to control C out of this, back. Then I'm going to press up arrow or type NS lookup again, or press up arrow. So it does not show, it is just show me the same thing again, right? So I'm going to minimize this. I'm inside DNS manager again, and there you see this what we were refreshing for so much time. Then I'm going to right click here on this and go to this launch NS lookup. So right click on your DNS name here and go to launch NS lookup. So it should be giving your full FQDN as well, fully qualified domain name, but it's not giving that fully qualified domain name, right? So this means that we have to really make sure that the fully qualified domain name is showing there, right? So for that, what we're going to do is, let me just check it out as well. So what we were saying here, that I was here and you cannot do that, right? So unknown was showing there, right? So we need it to be your server name and domain name here. So let's close this. Let's close this, and then go back to our command prompt here. And then what we need to do is we can control C out of this NSLookup interactive mode. And there are two commands that we need to give. One is ipconfig space / and then flush DNS, right? So press enter and this message comes. Make sure that you're on administrator privilege here, otherwise the ipconfig, the next command that I'm trying to put here, you won't be able to put ipconfig space / register DNS. So your administrator privilege, the command prompt should be open, then this will work, register DNS. So I'm just going to press enter here, and it's going to give you 2 lines there, and those 2 lines, just ignore those. If there are any errors, it will give you an event viewer, so it's just saying that, right? So I'm going to minimize this, and so I'm going to go back to this DNS server name inside DNS manager and refresh a couple of million times here, and then I'm going to right click again and go to launch NSLookup. So it does still say unknown here, right? So we need to figure out, we need to make sure that it is the fully qualified domain name showing here. Resuming now, maybe it is showing for you. If it is showing for you, then you can take a screenshot of that, that your server name and domain name is showing there. For me, it is not showing. I'm going to close this and check my forward lookup zone again. I'll go to the domain name again. I'm going to double click this name, your first name, VM1SQL again. I'll uncheck this, right? Because I want to make it work. So I'm going to uncheck this and apply, right? Again, I'm going to check this and apply, right? And press OK. And go back and refresh. Maybe I have to do it one more time if it doesn't work. Refresh here. Because the reverse lookup zone is created already here, right? For that same machine, your first name, VM1SQL. So, okay, in my case, I think I have 2 network cards, and it is showing because of that network card, separate network card here. So I'm gonna still try this and refresh, and right click and go to launch NSLookup. Now you can see that it. So this is where you take the screenshot. And screenshot. Yeah. So I'll go down. So that would be screenshot number 6, right? So screenshot number 6. Take a screenshot number 6. It's also in the WhatsApp, and the title is there as well. And that is NSLookup works. So just go to the WhatsApp, see the title, NSLookup works. Then let's create our second machine now, and then we will go ahead and join it to domain as well, right? So let's go to the second machine. Okay, let's create our second machine. So here we were here, right? So let's go back to our machine area here, or you can go to the portal menu here, portal menu, that's on the top left, and then go down to the virtual machines, this one. Click here, and your first machine is already here, right? This one. So we're going to create a second machine. So let's go to add button here and go to virtual machine and start with the wizard again. Obviously we need to give the same resource group that we have been using, that is SQL 17 September. Excuse me. And then we're going to go for our machine name. So your first name, VM2 SQL, right? And then we're going to go for East US. Make sure it is East US. Also, don't go for this availability options here. Just keep it as no infrastructure redundancy required. Then we will go for this image and go down to 2016 data center Gen 1. And well, it is selected on E2S. Suppose it was selected on D2S. If you are able to select it D2S, that's okay. Otherwise, go down to E2S version 3 and select that. Right? And then give the username password. So this time try to give your first name and SQL. Don't give the admin there. And then small abc, capital ABC, shift123, and without shift123, the class password, small abc, capital ABC, shift123, without shift123. And then keep going down here. We're going to click none to the RDP here, and then let's click disks. So in the disks, what we can do is, there's premium SSD, so nothing in the disks. Let's click networking. In the networking, make sure that it is your first name VNet SQL. Then it's your subnet, your first name subnet 1 SQL, right? And then public IP is given. Actually, if public IP is not given, that is also okay. But yeah, this is great. This is okay if public IP is given. Let me just check my configurations on the other screen if it actually shows. Yeah, public IP is given. It's okay. So I'm just going to click advanced here for the network security group. We need to select the same network security group that we selected for the first machine, which is your first name VM1 SQL. So it's advanced. Click advanced here and go down to search for your first name VM1 SQL -NSG. So that's good, right? And then nothing in accelerated network, nothing in load balancing. So let's click management. And here boot diagnostics enable with managed storage account, and was so nothing much here in management. So keep going down, nothing, defaults, no change. Click advanced. In advanced there is one change at the bottom, so go down until you see this. If you're able to click Gen 2, it's okay. Otherwise Gen 1 is also okay, generation 1. That's very strange that I'm not able to. If I go back here, and back, and previous, and then go next, until I reach advanced. So, oh, I don't see Gen. Anyway, if you are able to click Gen 2, go ahead and click Gen 2. I'll stick to Gen 1. Tags, so that's just the name and second VM for SQL Lab. Second VM for SQL Lab, right? Second VM for SQL Lab. And then there is that review plus create. Oh, in my case it's validation failed. Required information is missing or not valid. So in your case, if you got it, then go to the basics and then take a screenshot. It's also go to your WhatsApp and see the screenshot name. Screenshot name is screenshot 7 equals create second VM. Basics. I'll just try to fix what is. Oh, did I not select data center 2016? That's why. How come it went back to Ubuntu? Okay, so now I should be seeing Gen 2 as well. Ah, that was it. I'll go to advanced and go down. Yay, Gen 2. And I'll click tags. Yeah, tags is okay. And review plus create. Yay. And so you need to take a screenshot of this. Just go down a little until you reach the basics, and then these should be showing here. So take a screenshot. The screenshot name is screenshot 7 creating second VM. It's also in the WhatsApp. Click create. So it is still processing here. So once it is created and started, then we're going to simply join it to domain. So we're going to log in, we're going to join it to domain, and when we restart, we're going to log in from the actual admin account. Right now, we're going to log in from the local account, which is your first name SQL. Later, we're going to log in after joining the domain and then restarting. We're going to log in from the admin account. Okay, so it's created, and what we can do is we can close this, the bell icon, and then we can go to portal menu, then we go down to virtual machines. And then there's that virtual machine here, your first name VM2 SQL. So click that, and we can connect by connecting, either you want to connect to RDP, you can go ahead, or Bastion. I'm going to connect through Bastion, which we configured, and click use Bastion, and then it's asking for username. So username is for this machine right now is your first name SQL, and the class passwords ABC ship123 without ship123, and we click connect. So from the connect button, well, it lets us log in. It's not joined to the domain yet, and this is the local administrator, not the domain administrator, your first name SQL. So once it's logged in, then we can go for I'm going to press yes to this blue bar here. It lets your machine be discoverable in your network. And now that server manager will open. So once it is logged in here, I'll first open the command prompt here, this one, right? I'll open the command prompt, and I'll go to command prompt admin, and that is so can you ping, so ping your first name VM1 SQL. Can you ping there? Oops. Ping your first name VM1 SQL, right? So it was that the name. Oops, let me just was your first name VM1 SQL. First we can just try to go for command IP config here. So it gets 10409. So what we can do is we can ping the IP 10.4.0.4. obviously we need to type ping space 10.4.0.4, and yes, it pings. So make sure that this happens. And we can also do ns lookup, right? Enter, and make sure this happens as well. Your fully qualified domain of your DNS server is coming here, which is the first machine's name and domain name and the IP of the first machine. So if NSLookup gives this and ping gives this, so you're good. Your second machine is in communication with your first machine. So let's go to local server here, this one, and then go for workgroup, and then click change, and then domain. So what is your domain name? So let's go back to our first machine here, and in the server manager, in the local server, you can see that your domain name is your first name SQL.local. So I'm going to go to the second machine here and type your first name domain dot local and press OK. So if first it shows this, then press OK and then wait for a bit, wait for a while, and try to do that again. So maybe the domain name your first name SQL.local. What's wrong with me? Your first name SQL.local. My domain name was totally wrong. Your first name SQL.local. Now it's asking. So this is good news. Resuming. So yeah, there you go. So you're going to type the username of your administrator, which is the username of your first machine. Go to the first machine and go to the command prompt here. In the command prompt, just type the command who am I, right? Who am I gives you which domain you're connected from and which username after backslash, which username you're logged in from. You're logged in from your first name admin SQL. So this is the username that you need to put there. This is the domain administrator. So I'm going to go to the second machine and put that username here, your first name admin SQL, and the password is the class password. Small name SQL /123 without j123. Press OK, and it joins the domain. Yay! Okay, press OK here, and OK again, and close, and then restart. Right. The good thing about Bastion is that if it restarts and if you just stay here, and if you click reconnect later, it will just, if it's in the background it has restarted, it will simply restart. But we don't need to log in from that same account again now. We don't need to log in from that local admin account called your first name SQL. We need to log in from your first name admin SQL because it has joined the domain. We need to log in from the domain administrator from the second machine as well. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go to the your first name VM2 SQL, where I'm on your first name VM2 SQL, which is just restarting after joining the domain, and I'm in the Bastion. So I need to just change that username. I don't need to log into local administrator of that machine. I need to log in from the domain administrator account of this domain. So that is just, I need to add admin here. Your first name, admin SQL, and the password is, well, we put the same password everywhere. So hopefully the machine in the background have restarted. So I'm just gonna click connect. So I'm logged in from the second machine with the username of the first machine, which is actually the username of the domain as well, your first name admin domain from here. So the last screenshot would be that you need to open the command prompt here, right click and open command prompt admin, and here you need to put two commands and take the last screenshot, which is who am I, and it should show you that you're logged in from the second machine from your domain and the the domain account. And also, what is the name of this machine? So host name command, give that host name command, and you're actually logged in from second machine. So this is your final screenshot. Take the final screenshot, check in WhatsApp. It's logged in from domain admin from second VM, logged in from domain admin from second VM. It's in this screenshot 8. So that's it. So if you've taken the screenshot, then just go to machines and stop the machines. This is it, and upload the screenshots. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back here, and I'm gonna go to first machine and go to overview of the first machine and overview. I need to stop the machine. I'm gonna stop and press yes. Then I'm gonna go to the second machine and stop. And do you want to reserve the IP? If it says that, check it and okay. If it does not reserve your IP, then just don't reserve the IP and stop as well. So hopefully you got everything working, and that's it. So bye bye from now, from here. So guys, this is, I had to re-record this because I lost the recording of the other half after the break, so I had to re-record this on Sunday. So that's why it looks a bit different, but these are the exactly same steps we did in the class as well. Okay, I'm stopping now.